Welcome to the Lake Ave Radio Show. We got an important guest today, an Asbury Park pioneer, uh, award-winning comedian, award-winning cartoonist, two-time author, comic book creator, TV series. You know what? I only graduated sixth grade, so this word is kind of it's fucking with my head. What is it? Cartoonist.
Oh, caricatures.
That's what that said.
It's caricatures.
Yeah, I need to go back to school.
Yeah, it's not just you. Everybody who sees that word,
Yeah,
they
I
get
think
tripped up on that word.
I said, damn, the guy do fingernails too. What the fuck is that?
Ah,
That sounds like
ah.
some college shit. But
Even
let's get
even
it.
people that God, even people that book me to come to their events to do caricatures, they don't get the name right.
So explain what is that, right?
A caricature, in short, that's those funny faces that you get when you go to theme parks.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's a caricature. It's an exaggeration of the features.
Okay. Before we get into it, let me play the theme music before we get into the interview.
Lake Ave Radio Show,
K the boss, K the
brought
boss.
to you by Lake Ave Radio. You are now tuned in to the Lake Ave Radio. Brought to you by Lake Ave Reefy. Come and hear the show. Share and subscribe. It's a whole nother vibe. Watch a real street nigga go live. Give you all the real facts, the real deal. Show you how the hood feel. Black politics, the current events, you might get the chills. It's just a day in the life of the culture. All my youngins tap into an educated soldier. Peace to the gods, peace to the earth. If you down and stressed out, make sure you know your worth. Go and hustle for yours. Get your face out the dirt, cause your heart's still beating. It can be way worse. 1500, we got it out the mud. We all love the hood, but the streets show no love. We on all platforms, come and listen to the truth. It's a ski Vasquez, I lit a fire in the booth.
Always trust everyone to be themselves, but trust in the fact that you can see them well. I mean, it was like, trust. It takes too much energy to not trust someone. I mean, it takes too much energy. You only gotta stay 2 steps ahead of them, whatever. But trust them to be there.
To be themselves.
Trust the snake to fight you. Trust the lie to lie. Trust the thief to steal from you. Like, trust them to be them. But know them when you see them.
Lake Ave Radio Show with the God born Shabbat Allah. Something just happened. He just went out. Should be right back. Today we got a special show. We got Dash Worthy in the building. Today we got a special show with a special guest. You know what I'm saying? He back.
Yeah, that was me touching stuff, man. You know what I mean? I should have left it alone.
Today we got, like I said, we got a special show with a special guest, Asbury Park pioneer. Okay, because I know you made music, right? In the
Yeah,
beginning,
we
you
used to
started
make.
off with
What you want me to start off with the history of the music?
yeah, what inspired what artists inspired you?
Hip hop wise,
Yeah.
Grandmaster Caz. You know what I mean? Got to give respect to Kumo D, but my number one is Rakim. Rakim, KRS-One. From the '80s, Coogee Rap, Slick Rick. You know what I mean? All of them dudes in the '80s. That's what inspired me to want to put pen to paper and actually start rhyming. you know, and it was around 89, 90 or something like that when we actually got into it. 90, 91. It was 91 when we actually got into it. My cousin Fanique, he had a studio in his house on Prospect. And Kwamel, myself, King Cypher, Father
Kwame
Allah.
Ali? You talk about Kwame Ali, right?
Yeah, Kwamel Ali. Yeah.
Yeah, he's still making beats and shit. Shout out to
Yeah,
Kwame.
yeah. So me and Kwamel went to the CV Square Mall and seen my cousin Fanique. And Fanique asked me if I was still rhyming. And I'm like, yeah. And he said, come to the house. You know, we'd do stuff because I used to just be rhyming at parties, like birthday parties and whatever family party, you know, just messing around on the mic. And so me and Kwamel went there to Fanique's house on Prospect, and King Cypher was already there, but he was Orange at the time. We used to call him Orange. You know, he didn't have knowledge of self at the time. We called him Orange. But so he was there, and Fanique put on a beat. We just all started rhyming, and you know, we just used to go to Fanique house all the time, and we was putting together songs, and it was decent. And the real only outlet we had was Fanique's brother owned the barber shop on Lake Avenue, down by Drummond. It's not there anymore. And he used to let us have parties. And,
Oh, right there is a parking lot right there.
Yeah, it's a parking lot there now.
Yeah, I remember.
And he used to let us have parties in there. So we used to be on the mic rhyming. And you know, we didn't really have any ideas of going to the next level. We was just rhyming, making songs to do with the parties. And we would go to the Orchid. We wasn't even old enough to be in the Orchid, but you know, the guards ran the Orchid. Right. We'd go in the Orchid and do the gong show. They'd be like, all right, after the gong show, you gotta get out. My cousin Alborn was working there. You gotta get out after the gong show. You understand? Because we wasn't old enough to be in there. We do the gong show, and then somebody came to us and wanted us to rhyme at their party. And when they did that, it was like, yo, we got something with this. And it eventually grew. We became a group. We had a couple names. The God Squad, the Chosen Few, the Two of the Few. I moved to California, came back, you know, Nonstop Enterprises was what Fanique had and what we started with Nonstop Enterprises with the God Squad. But when I got back from California, me and King Cypher linked up and we came up with the name Black Oath based on his t-shirt that he had. It was taking a black oath, not allowing anybody to hold you back from your dreams, doing whatever you want to do. It was that type of black oath. So we named the group Black Oath, and we got serious with going to the studio and making our own tapes and selling our own tapes and making our own t-shirts and selling them. And the more we did it, the more it progressed, and we became like a staple in the area, you know. And we opened up for a lot of the artists that came through. You know, True Love was having parties come down, and Smooth.
What's the not to cut you off?
Go ahead, God, do what you got to do.
What was the biggest artist y'all opened up for?
I give you a list of some of the artists, and you can decide who was the biggest.
Okay.
Redman, Cormega, OGC, Helter Skelter, Big Pun. We didn't open up for him, but we were there at the Berkeley. We met Big Pun. Raekwon was there. Onyx. So I mean, yeah, the list goes on. G, you know, True Love was bringing some major artists down. Different Wu-Tang Clan members, and we was opening acts, but we was also doing shows outside of Asbury. You know, with up there with Naughty by Nature and them up in it was North Jersey. I forget whether it was East Orange or whatever it was. We was up there with them. We was making moves. So, you know, the biggest, I don't know who. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Redman.
I can't even pick from that though.
You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So, but we were like a mainstay opening act, and you know, things were getting serious for us. And being that we were around a lot of the big names, we thought things was going to take place. And then we went to Manhattan Studios. Timberland and Missy, they were leaving. They were leaving the studio. We were coming in the studio, and the producer told us, if y'all want to continue making music, y'all gonna have to change, because we was like backpack rappers, battle rappers. You understand what I'm saying? Cypher rappers. And he was like, y'all gonna have to change your style of music if you're gonna continue to make music, because things in the industry about to change. And you know, things happen personally wise and I left New Jersey. So the momentum never died. I left New Jersey,
Right.
so it couldn't go on any further.
How
You
many
know what I'm
was
saying?
how many was y'all in the group?
It started, Black Oath was me and King Cypher. However, went back and got King Universal to put him into Black Oath, you know, because King Universal, outside of the famous people, King Universal was another inspiration, and you Shard, they used to rhyme all the time. King Universal was always freestyling, so that was impressive. And you Shard, he was nice with the pen. So they were like the standard together of the MCs like that we personally knew. You Shard, which is Star's brother, you know you Shard. Anyway, they were like the staple of the standard amongst the personal people. So I went and got, because Shah was already in a group called Brickface and Stucco. So I went and got King Universal, put him into the Black Oath, became a member, and then Allah's Justice daughter, Kaisha born Essence, King Cypher went and brought her into the group, you know, and then Justice Power from North, he wasn't really a part of the group, he just used to come to the rest and would be in the Cypher with us, you know what I'm saying? But he probably would have ended up being a part of the group too.
This before Black Moon and all them, like this before '93 when
yeah, God, this
before they came, like all the, you know what I'm saying? But you said Raekwon was at a show. Was that later
the timeline is different. When you were asking who was the biggest name, because remember I said Big Pun too. That was later on. That was later 90s.
Right.
Yeah, that was later on 90s. But as far as industry people that existed, you talking about the beginning, like Nas being new. You talk about Redman having only two album or something like that. So we came up around the same time that they were coming up. It's just that we wasn't physically in the right area or the demographics like Newark and New York and all of that. We wasn't in that area to be associated with them.
I think Asbury suffered from that today too.
Yeah, definitely. Because you really had to be like, if we was in Newark around the flavor unit, we would have probably got picked up by the flavor unit. You understand what I'm saying? Because we did some stuff with KG before, so we probably would have got picked up with them. But yeah, like Nas and Redman, they were our contemporaries. It's just that they were famous and they had a budget. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Now, for those that don't know, because the guys in Nerf, a lot of people, jump ship and they dealing with everything else. The majority of the people from especially around the way. Explain to those that don't know Born Shabazz Allah. Explain what that name means to those that don't know, that don't have a clue.
Yeah, the Shabazz part is an acronym. Self He Allah Born Allah's knowledge of wisdom.
Okay.
Right? So
yeah.
So Shabazz born Allah. Self He Allah Born Allah's knowledge of wisdom. I'm born Allah. It's just that my name was always Born. You understand what I'm saying? And the Shabazz was just something to draw up, so it'd be like one name. Because like I said, Rakim, he was an inspiration to me as well. However, we was always taught to get your name, you go into the alphabets and draw it up. So if I'm gonna carry a name like Shabazz and I'm not trying to connect it to the tribe of Shabazz or the Nation of Islam, you understand what I'm saying? I had to draw it up. So that's Self He Allah Born Allah's knowledge of wisdom. So it's an acronym. Most of the gods have names that are acronyms. Well, I can't say most, some, especially from the era. I got knowledge of self in 85. So the era I come from, the gods that I came up under, they would draw up their names that way. They would have acronyms, and some would go into the math, into the alphabets and just have it that way, born or understanding or something. You know what I mean?
Do some of the gods in Earth believe in the tribe of Shabazz?
I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do. And here's the issue. You have a lot of people with lessons who don't have the teachings. You understand what I'm saying? You can download lessons online. I
Right.
don't mean you're gonna have the teachings. You know
I
what I mean?
understand. Yeah, that's the
And
understanding of it.
you can easily be led in the wrong direction and hard to be led in the right direction. What belongs to us is the mathematics and alphabet. So I was taught you're supposed to take them degrees and ask yourself, what does this have to do with this specific mathematics to draw up your teaching? You know what I'm saying? What does this degree has to do with knowledge, not the other way around? And individuals go into the lessons like I heard RZA talking about. Well, the
I was
lessons
gonna ask
say,
you. Yo, go ahead,
yeah,
because I was about to ask you about. But go ahead.
yeah, because he what he said was very misleading to people. He talking about, yeah, the lessons say we righteous Muslims.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Because
yeah,
they say, what is your own
yeah,
self? His own self is a righteous Muslim. That's what the lessons say, yes. But there's
right,
two things about that. Number one, you could go from who's the original man and how far Pluto is from the sun, and you ain't gonna find anything that's gonna qualify you to be a Muslim.
right, right.
With all respect due to the Muslims, is you not nowhere in 120 is anything gonna qualify you to be a Muslim. They got 5 pillars that you got to deal with. You got to respect that. You understand what I'm saying? Now, here's what I was talking about earlier, where they go easily led in the wrong direction, hard to lead. I mean, easily led in the wrong direction, hard to lead in the right
Right,
direction.
right. Yeah,
They go into them lessons, and instead of taking that lesson and say, what does it have to do with this mathematics? When it says, what is his own self? That right there, his own self is a master. And if you know that what it is, then you know what I'm saying. His own self is a master. His own self is the knowledge, his culture. That's that 13 and 14 that it's talking about. That's how you take them degrees and apply it to the mathematics and draw up your teachings instead of going from the mathematics into the lessons. And now you think you're a Muslim or a Muslim God. You
I
know what?
think,
I ain't even gonna get into that Muslim God crazy.
I think RZA took Muslims being born righteous and try to. Every baby
No,
is
but
born innocent. You know what I mean?
I mean, all respect due to the brother. He's sharp and everything. I met him in person, and he was on some space cadet stuff at the Parliament at the Show and Prove back in the day.
Yeah,
So, but that's, you can't be confusing with that. You know what I'm saying? You hear, you got, you have video, you have audio of the father teaching. You don't hear the father speaking like that. You understand? I grew up around firstborns of Allah's paradise of Neptune. You understand what I'm saying? Not social media, not Facebook.
he tried to associate a Shaolin or karate motherfucker with transitioning to being a Muslim too. If
Yeah,
you
he
see,
always done that. He did
yeah,
that at
yeah,
it was a show and prove. It was like 97, 98 or something like that. And somebody asked him something about today's mathematics. Now, RZA Sharp, I'm not dumping on his name. RZA Sharp is just that, you get some of the people that's like too smart for their own good.
he experiment with high explosives, creating his
Right. He
own.
dealing with high
Yeah,
explosives, right?
yeah,
Because he was
yeah.
smoking when he came up with that. And you know what I'm saying? You're supposed to keep it simple and teach it real. Like I said, I got knowledge of self at 85 when I was 12. There's no way in hell that I would have understood anything to grasp onto it if the gods was trying to teach me with some high science. And the way I got the knowledge, my sister Nisi was babysitting for Majai, Bashim and Janaz, and all of them. They owe God. Anyway, she was babysitting for him, so I would go over there, and Majai would keep it simple, teach it real. He would break it down real simple, and gave me mathematics, gave me alphabets, and I'm 12 at the time, and my mother, she caught wind that I was studying. You know what I'm saying? I was a 5%er now, and she was just concerned with her son getting involved with that, and she ain't know which way I would end up going, because things was a little different back then and started going off the rails a little bit. So she ripped up the little bit of lessons I had, you understand, out of concern. And then I started hanging around with Ushad and Star. That, well, he wasn't Star at the time. Ushad, he was the one who had the knowledge of self, and he had the lessons. So like around 14, 15 or something like that, Ushad gave me my lessons back. You understand? And then I used to build with Ushad, but Majid was the one who actually born the knowledge to me and gave it to me. He one of the first borns of Asbury Park. You know what I'm saying? And
Did they make you fast for 3 days? Being that you were so young, or they didn't bring that
listen,
up?
I'm gonna tell you something about that. I'm not saying that it didn't happen. I was young enough I don't remember. I really don't.
Right.
You know, today individuals that have cookie cutter history, ready made history.
Right.
You know, the history of Medina, the history of Brownsville. Those things didn't exist. They weren't in circulation at that time. People was too busy living and making the history. You know, so I really don't remember honestly if he made me fast for 3 days. I do know that was something that happened. However, at the time, my older cousins, Jazzar, Born, Will, their contemporary, their age group are the older gods. So I was around them. It wasn't like you could just go eating pork. You understand what I'm saying? Even if I wasn't trying to study, you getting that slapped, you getting that ham sandwich slapped out your hand. You know,
not because would you
go ahead, God.
Would you motivated at 12 years old the people that came into the name, or did you actually read the lessons and grasp to the lessons?
I was around the environment. A-Beth, firstborn A-Beth lived upstairs from me.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? Azami, firstborn Azami lived around the corner.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Firstborn Saran, he like that's you know, these was like uncles of mine. It wasn't just the older gods. These were people that were literally a part of the family. They'd be over your family house, you know. Your family was involved too. Your brother, I knew your brother since your two brothers since I was like 4 years old.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So we were heavily engulfed in the atmosphere and in the cipher, you know. So when it was family gatherings, the pork wasn't there. Like it was, I'm not saying that some people in the family didn't eat pork. It was easy to make that transition because we was amongst that cipher, and it was a lot of the older gods who was there, you know, who was like big brothers and uncles to make sure you was eating right.
Was you drawing then? Were you drawing?
I've been drawing as long as I can remember.
Okay.
Yeah. I could draw. I was drawing my grandmother, my mother's mother, Jenny Tunison Butler. Her drawings was the first drawings that I seen. I actually have the portfolio today. However, I still got it. Yeah, I got the portfolio, and I used to look at her drawings, and her drawings is probably the reason why I do caricatures, because caricatures is like a bust from the chest up, and it's the head mostly. You can draw the body, you understand, and she used to do a lot of that, like from the chest up profiles and different.
That was your blueprint, basically.
Not even knowing, it was being instilled then.
Did you try to copy her style? Did you?
I did. I started off by looking at and copying her stuff.
Right.
Yeah. And the earliest, because I was always told to sign and date my stuff. So the earliest drawings that I have with a recorded signatures, like either 1985 or 1986. So yeah, I was drawing as long as I could remember.
Let's get into running down Avenue Way.
Avenue Way.
Through over that hill that they never plowed down.
Yeah.
That goes from what's that? Borden to that's not.
It went from Borden to Avenue A, but now it's a street. You could go from Avenue A to Borden now.
I'm talking about from Heck to Embury.
Oh, you talking about it between the church? Yeah, that hill saved me one time. You know, I get into that. That hill saved me one time.
What year did you join the UNBs, the Unique Neptune Brothers?
Well, I gotta put that in context.
Okay.
I gotta put that in context because I lived in Neptune, right? So I knew everybody who eventually became what's known as the UNBs, the Unique Neptune Brothers. I lived in Asbury, went to both schools, so I knew brothers who eventually became known as the DBBs, the Devastating Black Brothers.
Right.
I was never officially a UNB.
Okay.
I was always. It was like you.
I called myself doing my research, asking somebody close to you about you, and he gave me. We gonna get into that. He talked about he was a UNB. Ask him that.
Yeah. No, I was never. I was never an official UMB. I knew the UMBs and I hung with the UMBs.
Yeah, you was
You
associated.
understand what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
So because like Milk, when we lived in Neptune, Milk and K Snip, they lived 2 doors down.
Okay.
When we lived on the highway, Highway 35, anybody from back then, B Park, they all used to come to our house.
Did the
You know what I'm saying?
DBBs try to jump on your ass too? Being that
They
you was,
did.
yeah,
We've
they
had, yeah,
did. He said
I
they
get it.
did.
I get into that. Yeah,
Yeah, good, good.
we definitely had actual fist fights. You
Mm.
understand? So being that I knew the UMBs, I went to Neptune with them brothers, and I went schools, and I went to Asbury schools with DBBs. Like I was not myself trying to be involved in it. I used to
Right.
watch when they would throw bottles and stuff when
Yeah.
y'all lived on Lake Avenue.
Yeah, that shit whistled
You
through your
understand?
ears. Niggas don't know about the whistling from the bottle.
Right, when they would
From the
break your
dirty
window like
bottle. Yeah, yeah.
every other week or something. You know, I used
Break
to
them
sit
up
and
with
watch
it.
this.
Yeah.
Like, but what happened was because I was seen with the UMBs, right? And it's Derek King, A Train, and it was somebody else that was with them, S Mouth.
Mm.
I was going to the store because I lived on Avenue A. I was going to the store on Atkins Avenue, and them three jumped me. So once they jumped me, my mind clicked. Okay, I got my hits off too, but they did jump me.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm like, my mind clicked. Like, listen,
What
I
did
got
you
jumped up.
what part you remember about getting jumped by them? The blow that makes you remember to this day.
This is exactly how it happened. I came through the path. I don't know which one said it. They was like, why you diss the crew? I don't know what crew they was talking about. You understand? And one of them swung from behind,
Right.
and I ducked it, turned around, and I hit one of them. It might have been A Train, but when I went to hit that person, I'm focused on this person. So I hit him. I get lifted up and slammed on the gate,
Damn.
and it ripped my state champs coat that I had on.
Yeah.
Now I'm stuck on the gate, so
Yeah.
they getting their hits in and try to drag me into the street. Somebody kicked me in the eye. They try to drag me in the street. I see the car coming. I don't know who it was. I just raised up with an uppercut. I'm not even sure if I connected. You know what I'm saying? And then I just got up out of there. But they got their hits off. You know what I'm saying? It was them three. And, A Train has always been my man. So it was like, okay, you're doing this because of association. But we went looking for Derek King. We went to his house. And we like chased him up in the Ocean Grove. That boy is fast. We couldn't catch him. Me and your brother Troy, we went and you shot. We went chasing this man because we seen him, and this was after they jumped me. So in my mind, it was like they jumped me. I was never a UMB. I was never a DBB. So my only way to get any type of retribution was now I'm gonna be out there with the UMBs, throwing bottles,
That's how you
chasing
start.
people.
That's how you
Yeah.
start affiliation.
And I got hit in the I mean I got my scars. Motor hit me in the arm with an aluminum bat. He and
Hey yo, listen, it was
yo
dangerous.
Yes, it was. And I thank Motor to this day that he hit me in the arm with that aluminum bat. He hit me from behind because he could have hit me in the head.
Right.
You understand? But he hit me in the arm, this arm right here, and it split my muscle. We had fights where it was group fights, and you win some, you lose some. But we actually had fist fights. Nobody was pulling out guns. A couple people got, stabbed up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But those people, for the most part, still hit.
Right,
It wasn't no guns. You
go
go out there, you get jumped, you jump, you chase, you get chased.
Now,
Yeah.
I was speaking with the guys on the episode, and they said,
Hold on, but respect to the UMBs, respect to the DBBs. Like I said, I was never officially a UMB. I did hang with the UMBs, and that was the side I chose to, fight with alongside.
I was building with the guys on the episode, and they said what ended the DBB and the UMB, feud and made everything come peace was the Nation of God's Herbs. Do you agree with that?
No,
Wow.
no.
Why not? Why not?
Cause cause some of the brothers who was UMB, some of the brothers who was DBBs. Well, I can speak for the UMB. Some of the brothers who was UMBs had a problem with some of the brothers because they was guards, because they was 5%ers. You know what I mean? What had happened was there was a house in Neptune called the Palace that UMBs used to hang out at. And it was on Lake Avenue. It was about 40 DBBs. It was about 40 UMBs. They was on the side of the street with the Bradley Sales. We was on the side of the street with 611. And we were literally across the street from each other. Like, you know, and somebody, I don't know who, said, yo, we tired of this. Instead of us fighting, let's just hang out and play football and go get high. And from there, individuals from DBBs, it was like, it was really no reason to be fighting because some of them was cousins. You know, everybody didn't have a problem with everybody. You understand what I'm saying? Some people on the DBB side was cool with UMBs and vice versa. Now, when it comes to the DBBs and the UMBs getting knowledge of self, that's later on. Like once the beef stopped and settled down, then, you know, it's like David in the Bible. He couldn't build the temple because he was a man of war. So when things settled down, his son Solomon was able to build the temple. You know what I'm saying? So when it came to the DBBs and the UMBs, they were always around the knowledge. So I can't say that none of them didn't have the knowledge. I can't, because I had it. You know what I'm saying? And so I can't say who did or who didn't have the knowledge. I know that as a group, it was later on after the beef settled down that individuals could walk all the way up and down Lake Avenue, down to Candyland without it being a problem, down to Westlake Avenue without it being a problem. That individuals then started getting more into it because, like I said, I got knowledge of self in 85. I was on the buses when they used to leave from in front of Chet's, from in front of Born King's store, when it was 2 Academy buses headed up to the Parliaments and Now Why. So I know who was on the buses and who wasn't. You know what I'm saying? And it was like the DBBs and the UMBs was keeping us apart from getting that because our older cousins and older brothers was all 5%ers. So I don't know who said that. That might be their experience.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm only speaking from my experience.
You was there in the beginning of the transition.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you seen the people still eating hog and that fuck.
Right.
Fuck that shit. I ain't with that shit.
I was around the
Christian shit. You know what I mean? A lot of people was
with
Christian shit. So
and to put the timeline in perspective, UMBs and DBBs as a whole starting to get the knowledge was in the 90s. The UMBs and DBBs fighting was in the 80s.
Okay, yeah.
You understand? And I got knowledge of self in 85, so I was around the guards. I was around all of them.
Yeah, that was the early 80s, right? Like 84?
I got it in 85, but I was around them, you know, I was around them my whole life.
I'm talking about the UMBs though.
That
was in the 80s, right? Early.
That's in the 80s, indeed. You know, that's in the 80s. B Park. That's all early 80s. B Park. Let me see. I don't know if it might have been like 80, 86, 87 or something like that. Because when we lived on the highway in Highway 35, it was more B Park, and then UMBs came. You know, UMBs came along, and B Park. When we lived in the highway, that was like 83, 84. You know what I mean? And the brothers who became UMBs, they went to school with each other and they knew each other. I don't think they were calling themselves UMBs at the time, though. It's somebody better qualified to answer that question. Because like I told you, I was never an official UMB. I was associated because I knew and hung out with them. And I can only tell you from my experience. So I know it's somebody better qualified. It's somebody better qualified to tell you how it even started. I can't even tell you how they got into it.
I want to get Derek Jones on here. I'm gonna try to.
Yeah, he would know.
A little bit.
Yeah,
he would know.
He would definitely know the history because he's one of the original ones, UMB. So he could tell you better than I could.
Right. I'm looking at your what is it? VR right on Instagram.
Yo, no, look. That's another word. That's another word that
Yeah,
people
you
have an
killing
issue
me with
with.
yeah, you killing me
Right.
with these fucking words.
But it's
Frat
Brad
right,
Wright.
frat,
Brad Wright. Now, this
frat
is
right.
here's what that is. I'm a Star Wars fan. I'm a Star Wars nerd. All right.
Okay,
So I put my name Shabazz Born through a Star Wars name generator, and Brad Wright is what came out with a whole history and
that's
everything.
fire. That's fire right there.
Cause I didn't I wanted it to sound more like a business, you know what I'm saying, than something personal. Shabazz
Now say
Born
now
caricatures.
say that at the bottom all together. Fat
Brad Wright
right.
caricatures.
Yeah,
Yeah, Brad Wright
for real.
caricatures.
Yeah, that sounds like a expensive cologne or some shit. Hey yo, hey yo, check it out. I'm looking at your animations. Is what's going on? These random people and you just draw. How long do it take to make a face like that? If you out, say like you was on the beach and I walk past with my girl or something, I'd be like, yo, can you draw us real quick? You know what I mean? What's the price range you charge, and how fast would you get that done?
All right, so I'm gonna try to answer all your questions. Those are random people. Those was basically practice faces that you see because it take at least 500 to 1,000 faces of drawing it to get it down packed.
Hmm.
So when it comes to how fast you do it, it depends on if you do just black and whites or if you do color. Now, when I do black and whites, I could do a face in 2 to 3 minutes. You know what I'm saying? It might not even take me that long. You know what I'm saying? A minute and a half, something like that, to do a whole caricature. Well, when it gets to adding color, you got to add the color and then blend it. So then that can go into 5 to 6 minutes easily. And
That's even
I
fast. That's fast.
yeah, and it took me them 500 faces to get to that, to get to that speed because I had to develop a technique that I've repeated over and over. So now when I do it, I'm not really thinking. There's certain things I'm looking for, and once I find those two or three certain things, then I just run through it. That's why it's so fast. But it took me 500 to 1,000 faces to get to that. And when I
What
do
if
black and
somebody
white,
good?
huh?
Good. Nah, go ahead, dog. Go ahead,
No,
dog.
when I do black and whites, I don't try to hit people over the head like they do at the theme parks. I charge $10 for a black and white. 25 for the color because it takes longer.
Yeah. What if somebody wanted that work done, but they far away? How would they get that sent to them? They wanted their
That's
first
called
animation
commission
done.
work. That's called commission work, and I've done that where people will send me a picture. I do the caricature, and then I send them a picture of the caricature back, and they could get printed out, or I can mail the actual caricature to them.
Do that cost more?
It will be factored into the price if I have to mail it, because like I said, a black and white would be 10, but then I got to add the cost of shipping onto that, so it wouldn't be
Right.
more than what it costs. You understand what I'm
Yeah,
saying to actually mail it.
right. And they can reach you on Instagram if they want their work done like that, right?
Yeah,
You can see
Instagram.
more of that. You got more of that work on that Instagram page.
I
You
have a
got like
lot of
hundreds of faces.
yeah. I got
Okay.
hundreds of faces on there. I have other artwork as well because it's not just caricatures. I do different mediums. I have superhero like comic book style
Right. We're gonna get into
characters on there.
right.
I got
We're about to
still
get
life. I
into
have
that.
paintings on there. I'm universal with the art. I do paintings and everything.
Right. So let's get into hold on, let me see something. You got a lot going on, guy. Well, it's fun. I
Well,
was checking it out like, damn, this nigga bone tie.
gotta stay busy
Let's
with
get
it, G.
into let's get into laugh for a half with the bads.
Yeah,
And it's a
yeah.
list. It's a list on there. Um, it says scroll down my Instagram page underscore under the underscore bads underscore and find these
Right.
30 stand up comedian what is it, Bites, or visit my YouTube channel at the Bass Comedy Channel to listen to
Yeah,
all of them in one video. Y'all see that?
yeah.
Follow that right there. You got 30 of them. This is you. How many minutes is each of
So
these
what Laugh
30?
for a Half is, right? Laugh. I have two Laugh for a Half, part one and part two, and those that are numbered, those we call them as stand-up comedians. We call them bits, right? So those are jokes. You have jokes,
Oh,
a
okay.
couple jokes to make up
Yeah,
a
yeah.
bit, and a couple bits to make up a set.
Right,
So
yeah,
I took random bits or random jokes and put them on the list because as far as merchandise wise, I have a CD out that I put out. I have one, two, three DVDs that I put out, and then I have a DVD that I put out with the group of comedians that I was with. The group was like the Wu-Tang Clan of comedy. It's called the NC Comics All Stars, and we put something out together. So what I did was I took some material from the different CDs and DVDs, and I put together 2 half hours of material to give
Oh,
people
that's two
a
and a
good
half
feel for
hours.
what I do, what I did.
Right, right. That's 2.5 hours, God.
No, no, no. It's 2 half hours. So it's an
Oh
hour
shit.
altogether.
Yeah, yeah.
So that because I have videos on YouTube on my YouTube channel, the Bass Comedy Channel. People don't want to always go searching for your stuff. So I tried to make it convenient and, just put select bits on these two different half-hour audios that they could sit down and listen to. And I made sure while I was doing stand-up comedy, I wasn't cussing on stage.
Oh,
I
okay.
did that. I did that on purpose. So yeah, you can listen to they can listen to my stand-up comedy with their family.
Yeah, that was smart right there.
It was only one time I
Yeah.
actually cussed on stage. And that was when I was doing a roast, but it was because it was a roast.
Um. So go ahead, tell a joke.
I don't tell jokes anymore, man.
You
But
don't
I
tell
give you,
jokes no more.
I give you some material. I give you a bit of look. I give you one a little bit that I used to tell. Right, I did a
Okay.
show. I did a show at a place called A-FATOR Tavern. All right, now one of the comedians that I was with, he had jokes. He named the show. He named the show "These Nuts." All right,
Get the fuck
so
out of here, man.
here's the problem. We like, yo, I'm thinking, how do you tell a father that you taking his daughter to this show? Yeah, I show up. I'm taking your daughter down on A-Cock to see
Yeah,
these
yeah.
nuts.
Yeah,
You
oh,
understand
that's
what I'm saying?
crazy. Yeah, that's
Right, right. You
crazy,
get
man.
shot right there at the door.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that's funny.
that was a bit from one of my jokes. You
Yeah, that's
understand what I'm
funny.
saying? Yeah.
I would steal that right there. You heard?
Yo, and
That
you know that, and it's that's actually a true story. And the comedian who named the show "These Nuts"
yeah.
was Chico Bean from Wildin' Out.
Oh shit, ain't that something?
Yeah, Chico Bean. He started out doing comedy here. He was a part of the comedy group, the NC Comics All Stars that we had here. He was ready back then. 2008, 2009. He was ready for celebrity back then. You understand what I'm saying? That's my dude right there. And he went off and did some stuff with Nick Cannon, saw him, and he got discovered. And the rest is history. Salute to that brother. He deserved everything he getting.
Shout out to the chat, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. We got that. What we got? We got Blue Racks in the building. Stacks Blair. What's that? Alician? Slide TV in the building. Ski Vasquez. Positive Star in the building. Speaking of Positive Star, did you initiate Positive Star to be the first CBB? Did you make up the CBBs?
You talking to me?
Yeah. He said, "You talking to me?" Yeah. This is the rumor.
No, I didn't. I didn't start any CBBs.
Yo, Star, man. We told you that was Cat, or you don't know
You
what you
talking about my
talking
little
about.
cousin Star?
Yeah. He said it was you and him. He
Uh huh.
said, "Yo, I got this shit called CBB. What's up? You want to be down with it?" And he was like, "Hell yeah." And he said he was arguing with Keith Bellamy about it. He like, nah, hell no. You ain't make that up. Spanky made that up. He like, nah. Boom. My cousin Boom made that up. See?
Yeah, I remember the name. Spanky might be responsible for that one.
Right.
The only association I had when it came to those groups, I wouldn't even disrespect them and call them gangs, but when it came to them groups, the only ones I had association with was the group.
Disrespect them. It was gangs. The niggas
Not like these gangs today.
Up. Yeah, but
yeah, it would.
When they come to that, they'll fuck you up more than the gang now. They just
you definitely. There was a lot of ass whooping going on. Yeah,
you better know how to fight. You want to walk the street, nigga.
Yeah, it was definitely some ass whooping going on. You know what I mean? And if you was involved, you was
brave. Y'all niggas was brave. That's how you know y'all niggas was brave to come out.
Because we definitely was outside. We just got into the fight.
Just ready to fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Man, 30 bottles. You hit.
Me and your brother, Troy, we was down by the cab stand, and I ain't gonna throw whose name it was out there, but you know they was coming over there to Neptune trying to catch somebody, and me and Troy, we caught somebody, and you know did what we had to do. Yeah. So you definitely was gonna get your ass whooped. You was gonna fight. You might not get your ass whooped. You gonna definitely fight.
Yo, he's in a car. Yo, this nigga is wild. Peace to Positive Store. He wild. He's a wild boy, though. He's in the comment as we speak. He in the Facebook comment said.
Tell him I said peace. I don't remember that CPB history.
He said, God, we spray painted it on our clubhouse. This is what he put in the comments.
I'm not denying that. I don't remember. I don't
denying it.
I don't remember. No, I was never. I don't remember. Starting nothing called CBB. I remember the name though. Right, Spanky did that. Where is Spanky on there? Where's Spanky at? He did that.
Yeah. Spanky be on here, but he ain't on here tonight.
But Star. That's my cousin right there. Right. If he said it, it's probably true. I'll be 53 in August.
It was so long ago, Star.
Yeah.
So okay. So at least he said that. At least he said, man, that nigga fucking lying. Get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean?
At least he said what?
At least you said that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
My cousin, if he said it, it probably, at least you wasn't like, man, that nigga fucking lying. You feel?
Yeah. No, I mean, it seemed like it's real history to him. Like, that's how he remembered it. I can't deny it, man.
Yo,
but, he's my cousin, so.
Right, spray painting on the clubhouse is serious. That's the stamp.
Yeah.
Know about it in the beginning. Shit, that was the stamp right there. You know what I mean?
Where's Spanky at? Spanky got an answer for that one.
Spanky, we got to get Spanky to pull up. You know what I mean? But I believe, probably did spray because it, like you said, is an acronym, right? So maybe.
But also think about this, G. The same way whoever asked you that question, he said, yeah, ask that nigga about that. He used to be in UMB. If you say something, long enough, or if you saying, you seen or associated with somebody, it becomes the truth until you get to the source.
Right. We in the source now. The A-FATOR. Let me play the little video and shit, and then we're gonna get into it.
For me, it's always been about the journey. However, to get to this point, you gotta go back a little further. All the way back to 2000. Working with waste management, riding in the truck, jotting down ideas for a story I had. I eventually worked out that story and called it The Dome. The Dome was the original name for what eventually became the A-FATOR. I went through changing. I actually drew a whole comic book for the Dome just to see what it would look like. And like always, I put it to the side. By 2002, the name changed from the Dome to the Osiris Factor. The concept changed, the artwork changed, and again, I put it to the side. I would tinker with it over the years, go back, work through different concepts, character concept ideas, and eventually in 2020, I started working on the Osiris Factor. Finally settled on the name called the A-FATOR, worked on the backstory, worked on the characters, kept some of the concepts from the original Dome. Pretty much that's what I'm bringing to you today.
Now, y'all see the QR code right there, you know. Um, that's to the guy comic books, the A-Factor, right?
Indeed.
Series 1, 2, and 3, and in the midst of Series 4. You finished Series 4 or you or
Now, see, issue number 4 is done. I didn't have enough time to do a proofreading before I made it live. I wanted to, do it live while I was on your podcast. You know what I'm saying? While I was on your live stream. However, I didn't get a chance to proofread it, so probably tomorrow I'll make it live and issue number 4 available. But issue 4 is done.
now this A-Factor project is a real comic book. Like if you see the comic book, it's really formatted like that. That's that.
Right. Yes.
How long do it take for you to make a book?
That time varies because you have to put time aside. You know what I mean? Because I'm writing it, I'm drawing it, I'm coloring it, I'm putting it all together. I'm doing all of it by myself. So, if you have time, if you have the time to sit down like all day and do it, you can get one done within like a week or two. However, if you only have an hour, 2 hours, 30 minutes here or there, it could take a while to get it done, especially if you're doing everything by yourself. Most comic books like DC, IDW, Marvel, all of them, they have multiple people working on it. Somebody will write it. Somebody will draw it as far as pencils. Somebody else take it in from the pencils, they'll do the inking. Then somebody else do the coloring. You understand what I'm saying? And they work like an assembly line. So they can push them out comic books once every 2 weeks or once a month. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it can go from 2 weeks to a month or so.
Did you ever think about using AI to enhance the pictures, like
no,
animate them more?
Nah, I've had people ask me about that. Huh?
Is there a certain reason why you chose not to?
Yeah, it is. I wanted to be something to still be done by your hands, real artists. I don't dump on AI for anybody to do it. Everybody can't draw. You understand what I'm saying? Some people need AI. Some people AI, there's benefits with it. However, you don't want to lose the element of being an actual artist. Somebody still has to do it. Because whatever you're doing, you're looking to be successful. Successful doesn't always mean you want to have fame and fortune. Successful means the project gets done. You understand?
I like that right there. If you're a true
artist.
So,
right. So, and if somebody is not continuing the hands-on techniques, it's going to get lost. It's like we're writing in cursive. Some people in school don't get cursive. So
that shit too, bro.
Some kids don't know how to write in cursive. So, somebody still got to tote the line. So, that's why I don't deal with AI. I mean, for anybody who do, handle your business. Even when I did comic strips, I did all that by hand.
So, speaking of comic strip, explain to them deeper in, because, I got the A-Factor and I love the way it start off with the whole prison scene. That shit is fire, bro. It got community in it. It just, check it out. What dude they to be getting, bro? He locked up. They framed him or some shit.
Yeah, Vernon Washington.
That shit.
Yeah. Hey, the name of the prison that he's in is called Monco, right? And that's short for Monmouth County.
Oh shit!
And the actual jail that you see in the comic book is how the holding cell used to look before Monmouth County became a prison. So what you're looking at, you're literally looking at the holding cell in the county.
Right. Hey, check this out, y'all. While he's explaining these series of books, y'all can hit this barcode, QR code with your phone, another device, if you got it, and download the books right now. I think it's like you could have really charged with mad money. You giving a hella deal.
Yeah. I am.
I think
Yeah,
I
you could
paid
get
like
issue number 1, number 2, and number 3, and then I put out an encyclopedia that give you the
oh
history
yeah,
of each
you
character
got this
to
you
draw
got this
up.
like
Yeah, so that
yeah.
by the through the encyclopedia you could kind of get caught up. With the
Yeah.
name. Let me get into the difference in the name because it started
Yo,
out, something different. It started out as the Dome, then it became uh from the Dome it was the Osiris factor, then the A-Factor. And I changed the name, and I'm gonna get into what A-Factor means. I changed the name because the name itself could either help or it can stifle the project. If I kept it the name of the Dome, and this was part of the things that I was tinkering with over the years, if I kept it the name of the Dome, then I got to keep circling back and have events and stories taking place in the Dome. You understand? If I call it the Osiris factor, then I got to keep borrowing from and revisiting Egyptian history. And it limits the stories that could be told. But with the A factor, I have all kind of stories I can tell. Now, the A in the A factor, what it is, there's an actual, I want to say, is it a protein? I don't think it's a gene. It's an actual protein in people that's called actin 3, ACTN3, right? And this gene or protein is what makes like athletes stronger, faster, jump higher. It's something that they develop and work on, and it's just called actin 3. It's a protein in your system that actually exists. So I just took that
is that
and
like dope?
elaborated on it and turned it into.
Is that like a dopamine?
You said dopamine?
Yeah, is that like
Uh
dopamine?
I don't I, I don't want to say yeah because I'm not a professional with that. You understand what I'm saying? But it could be because dopamine is something that gives you that extra energy. But I know actin 3, ACTN3, is a protein that helps out the fast twitch muscle. So I took that A factor and just applied it to individuals being born with superpowers. And I call them people arcanyms. You know what I'm saying? Arcanym basically means like somebody has a secret or something. But by calling it the A factor and not the Dome or not Osiris factor, it doesn't limit the stories I could tell. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, you could get you could all your characters you make into your toy collection. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I definitely want to. I
All
definitely
you
want
need
to.
is a listen. I'm telling you, guys. All you need is a 3D printer. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And
Yeah.
a couple G's. You know what I'm saying? But now you can
Yeah,
make your
well,
cartoon. You can make your characters, package them up. Man, shit. That's what the
that's
babies
definitely
need.
something I want to
Back
do.
to
I
it. You know what
eventually
I'm
link with
saying?
somebody else doing that. Yeah, I definitely
Yeah, that's
link with
fire.
somebody doing that.
That's fire. Now, so the series is obviously connected. 1, 2, and 3, and 4 gonna be all connected. Um,
Right.
it's sort of. I think is he sort of like the character in my book. He gains powers. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes.
He gets
Yes.
powers, and then through the different books, he actually enhanced powers or something like that.
Yeah. See, issue number 1, it introduces all the characters and it introduces the situation that eventually leads them to, get coming across each other's radar. Issue number
Yeah.
2 explains, it gets into not only the A factor, but it gets into when a new person with the A factor is going to be born. And I borrow from the lessons for that. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah,
Right.
because we learned the
You
planet Earth was 25,000 miles circumference. You understand what I'm saying? So the
now
wise man of the east, the black. Hold on, let me tell you this. The
go
wise
ahead,
man
go
of the
ahead.
east, the black man makes his history to equal his home circumference again to every mile. Thus, every time his history lasts for 25,000 years, he renews for another 25,000 years. All right. So every 25,000 years, history is renewed. So the original story was every 25,000 years, another person was born with these abilities. So these characters, some of these characters are centuries old. You understand? And that Vernon Washington just happens to be the newest Arcanine. He was the newest one to have his ability, wakened up inside of him.
Right. Yeah, this is deep.
But people actually have this acting 3 in them. They literally have it in them, and it's just that athletes actually train and groom this protein.
So is it more of a mental capacity that you gain, or is it the physical first? Is it a physical?
You talk about the abilities?
Or is it, when you get it? Is it a
it's like the X-Men, they get actual powers that manifest physically. Okay. They can, they actually get powers. They can fly. They can shoot plasma from their eyes, from their hands. They have actual powers that manifest within them. You understand what I'm saying?
And you believe
but it's like
people that's walking the earth like that right now, they just don't expose themselves as much, or they just don't use it.
I'm gonna say this: that which is.
We see some crazy
no,
videos.
I'm gonna say this. That which is always has been. That which is not never was. All right. As far as the acting 3, that's something real. As far as athletes having that protein to enhance their abilities, their athletic abilities, that exists. Whether or not you got people that can fly, I haven't seen one do it without ropes or airplane. You understand what I'm saying? If they exist, they got to make themselves known. You know what I'm saying?
That's some shit right there.
They got to make themselves known. So I haven't seen one. Yeah, now, Stan Lee, he had a show where he had a thing. It was called Superhumans, and those people had abilities that was beyond normal.
The TV series, is that? Do you want to put this in the movies as cartoons or a Hollywood movie?
What the comic book?
Is that your goal? Like to make it like mainstream and Walmart, any big name store?
My goal.
Movies, you know what I'm saying?
No, my goal and motivation with the comic books is just to get them done. Because I've wanted to draw comic books since I was a kid. My original characters go back to 1990. And I've always wanted to draw comic books. So to draw the comic books and have them out there, that's the level that I gauged for success. Now, if something that comes beyond that, that's just going to be extra added to the pot. I'm not refusing, denying, or turning down opportunities. It's just that I'm not chasing those. You understand? That's not why I'm doing it. If it comes, it comes. That's not why I'm doing it, though. I've done animated series with the Aki Wise and Essence comic strip. I've done animated movies. You know what I'm saying? I've done comic strips. The Aki Wise and Essence comic strip. I did that from 2003 to about 2015. It was in the 5% of the newspaper until it wasn't,
Right. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, guys.
Okay. So let everybody know all the places they can contact you at to get some of your work. I know this QR code that y'all see up right now. Y'all can scan that and get to his books.
Yeah, you could get to the comic books from that QR code, but I always have on my pages, whether it's Vrad Wright on Instagram, The Baz on Instagram, or Shabazz Bonala on Facebook, I have QR codes. There's one specific post where there's a QR code that'll take you to my stand-up comedy videos. There's a QR code that'll take you to the books that I wrote. There's a QR code that'll take you to the skit, my YouTube channel. So you can see all the other shit. Baz Works, yeah.
Y'all see it, man. Tap in. Great.
The Baz Comedy Channel, yep.
Great interview, guy. Glad you came to the show and shared everybody your talent. Very motivational. That's what I always remember you as, God. Just a
Right.
person with talent and putting it out there for everybody. You know what I'm saying? In a fun way, and it's like unity with you. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah,
unite
yeah,
with
it's
people,
supposed to be.
man, and that's what I like.
Yo, tell my cousin, man, that he gonna have to find the founder of the CVBs. I remember
Yo, he watching right now. Star, you heard him? You
Star.
heard him, man?
Praise God. Look, I
Yeah.
remember the CVBs. Yo, when he was little, you mess with your little cousin, man. I could have said something like that. I'm not even gonna deny it. I could have said something like that.
Told him
He
some
might be telling
wild
you the truth.
shit. Told that nigga some
He
wild shit.
might be telling you the truth. I might have said something
Yeah,
like that. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah. Nigga, I came up with that shit, nigga. His whole life, that nigga believe in that shit. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Now,
That's
is you wanted to take some questions and stuff, or stick around?
yeah, I definitely
You
take
know what
some
I mean?
questions. I
Okay,
don't want to call him my little cousin because he a grown ass man, but that's my little cousin. So you mess with your cousins like that, man. I could have said something like that.
we got Kelly. Kel's in the building. What's up, Kelly? We
What's
got
going on?
Kelly. We got Born Shabazz. Uh, award
Peace, how you
winning.
doing?
Good, how
Peace,
are
how you
you?
doing? He's an award winning comedian, cartoonist, comic book series writer, TV series, rapper. He's done it all with talent, man. He got this new book called, because I know you like books and shit, man. You know what I mean? Uh,
I like yours.
let me
You need
see.
to get the second one out, though.
Yeah, I'm being lazy, Kelly. He got a comic book series called the A-FATOR. I don't know if you can see that, Kelly. Can you see
I
that?
can see it. Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know if you was listening to go see. I don't know if you was listening to the show. Um, but it's hand drawn.
No, I've been
Everything is
working, so if
hand
you
drawn.
can give me a
Yeah,
recap real quick.
so I'm gonna play the video for one more time. For the people like her that like to show up late, knowing that we gave a timeline that we was
Uh,
coming
uh,
on
uh,
late.
uh,
You know what I'm
I know
saying?
you ain't trying to ride me
And
already.
want to just
uh, uh,
and just want to pull up late. But yeah, let's play. I'm gonna play a little recap on what he got going
For
on.
me, it's always been about the journey. However, to get to this point, you gotta go back a little further. All the way back to 2000. Working with waste management, riding in the truck, jotting down ideas for a story I had. I eventually worked out that story and called it The Dome. The Dome was the original name for what eventually became the A-Factor. It went through changes. I actually drew a whole comic book for the Dome just to see what it would look like. And like always, I put it to the side. By 2002, the name changed from the Dome to the Osiris Factor. Concept changed, the artwork changed, and again, I put it to the side. I would tinker with it over the years, go back, work through different concepts, character concept ideas, and eventually in 2020, I started working on the Osiris Factor. Finally settled on the name called the A-Factor, worked on the backstory, worked on the characters, kept some of the concepts from the original Dome. Pretty much that's what I'm bringing to you today.
I'm not gonna lie, that shit's dope.
That shit fire.
Thank you.
And I got an announcement on the Lake Gap Radio Show because I told you we always doing excellent communication and linking with the right people. I'm going to be in series 4. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm in series. The Late Cat Radio Show was in series 4, man. Appreciate it, bro.
Indeed,
Man,
indeed.
you know what I'm saying? That right there. That's some fly shit right there, man. I can't wait. You said it's done already, or it's about to be done?
No, it is done. As I before I was logging on, I was adding the final word bubble. However, I like to proofread it to make sure that everything is spelled right or everything is dotted right. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't want to rush and make it live and then put it out there and people get it and be like, yo, this don't even make sense. It's not spelled right. You know what I'm saying? I need to proofread it before I do that. But it's done.
That's dope.
Here's the QR code, right? It's the QR code again, everybody that's pulling up late, where you can download the series, all 3 of them, right?
Yeah, all 3, and I did 3 issues, and I did an encyclopedia so people can learn about the characters and the characters' history and their motivations.
Hold up,
And I do it all by hand so that there's still a link to actually being a real artist, because I'm not dumping on AI, but everybody can't draw, so some people need that, but you still got to have that connection to the actual craft of being an artist.
Right. The actual now, do you got books you can autograph? Do you got actual physical books
of the comic book? Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So y'all can contact them. They can contact you through scan that QR code to get the series, but they can contact you through this.
But see, the way that works, if you scan that QR code, if you go onto Gumroad, that's going to take you to Gumroad, the page where I sell the comic books. When you buy it, an email is going to automatically be sent to you, and you can download the comic book that way. Because it's easier.
Kidding me? I'm sorry.
It's easier to get it that way than contact me and have me mail it to you. I'm not against
a bunch of money flying all over the interstate.
Yeah. I'm not against mailing it out. It's just it's easier to download it.
Okay. Yeah, it's way better to download.
Yeah, because once you complete your purchase, it'll be sent to your email.
Yeah, if you don't mind the physical, having a physical book. Some people don't care. They want it on their phone. You know what I mean? So,
DC and Marvel, they have sites where you buy comic books strictly online.
It costs more though. It costs more.
Yeah, because you got to have a series. Plus, them comic books be like $4 and $5 because them artists on another level. Them writers on a different level. Like I said, I'm doing everything by myself. They have a whole team, and it goes through editing, and their stuff gets rejected, and they got to go back and correct it. Like those who are into comic books know Jack Kirby. He drew when he drew Superman before, and DC had somebody go back and redraw the face like DC. And you don't get that type of freedom with DC and Marvel and IDW and Dark Horse and Image Comics.
They got a time limit, huh?
They got a time limit. They have a standard, and I mean they deserve it. They put out top notch. They put out top notch merchandise, and they could charge $4 and $5 for their books. You know what I'm saying?
So as far as comedy, you said you don't do it. You don't do comedy no more.
Nah. What happened? I did comedy, and when I say I did comedy, I did sketch, I did improv, I did stand up, but I did that from 2004 to 2023. And what happened? I was a host. I was a professional comedian. I was a host at a comedy club around here called the Comedy Zone. And in 2020, when COVID hit, different comedy clubs started shutting down. So for like a year, I wasn't able to get on anybody's stage, not just the Comedy Zone. And that's when I started studying caricatures, and I was able to just start going out doing gigs with caricatures. And I got paid for doing comedy. It just wasn't consistent enough to where, I could continue doing that. And I get paid more consistently and more money with the caricatures. So, in 23. From 20 to 23, I was still doing a web series and I was still doing skits. So I was still doing comedy. I just stopped doing stand-up comedy in 2020. And then I just stopped doing all comedy in 2023 because I wanted to focus more on doing the caricatures. Because like you said, I did the rap thing. You understand what I'm saying? I did the comedy thing. I gave all these other talents opportunity to breathe. I never really gave my artwork an opportunity to breathe. So I never got to the level where I was satisfied with my artwork. Right. So that's where I'm at with it now. But what I did do, for every year that I did comedy, I wrote a new half-hour material and I structured them like albums. And I told you I have a CD that I put out, 3 DVDs, but I got 16, 17 comedy albums, and most of that material I've never used. I came back home and did a show, and I did material back there that I never done anywhere else. So I have the material if I ever want to step back on stage. I got more than enough material. It's just that I'm focused on the artwork right now.
Let me ask you a question that I ask mostly all my guests that I've known that moved away. First of all, you moved from New Jersey to where you at now, right?
Yeah, North Carolina.
Okay. What do you miss about back home? I ask everybody from Asbury that. What brings them, back just to smell that air?
Well, I go home every year. I've been going home every year since I've been here. I moved here in 2000, and when I first moved here, I was literally going back every weekend because I couldn't get a job. So I was selling CDs, DVDs, VCR tapes. So I would go back to Newark and go up to Avenue Americas in New York and get merchandise. And so I was going home every weekend. And then it slowed down because I started working. But I would come home. I still come home every year. All the family is still there. My daughter's there. My two of my grandchildren are there. So every year I come back to see them and for their birthdays. So the only thing that really brings me back there is family. You understand? And it's just the aesthetics of Asbury and Neptune, physically seeing it. It does something to you. You understand? So it's like it refills you. It pours back in, because just like the way a smell can bring a memory back. You understand? You hear a song, it could bring a memory back. When you get in the area and you just see certain things, I'll be sitting there smiling. Nobody else will know why I'm smiling. I know the history that took place right there on that corner. You understand? So yeah, it's the place itself, like how in certain movies or certain comic books, New York City is a character. You understand? Asbury Park Neptune is a character. You know what I'm saying? So just seeing the place, you got to go back and renew your history. But I don't miss not being there. I'm born and raised there. That ain't going nowhere.
I was going to ask you. You just brought something up in my head we were talking about earlier. The 25,000 years. You said, the black man restores his history. And that's replying to some people say the major books, the Bible, the Quran, and shit like that come out of that too. But don't that apply for every day restoring your history, learning new things too?
Yes. And for us specifically, parliaments used to be like before I got knowledge self, talking about in the 60s. Parliaments, they used to have parliaments from the 25th to the end of the month, right? And at this time, brothers would make themselves doctors, ministers, and nurses and cremators. They would basically test you on your lessons. You know what I'm saying? And the way I was taught and told, the father ended that, put it on the last Sunday of the month. You understand what I'm saying? So at the last Sunday of the month is when you have parliament and you renew your history, because you're dealing with the Bible and Quran. Who made the Holy Bible and Quran? You understand what I'm saying? You're dealing with, for those who know, the first degree and the 1 to 40. When you're dealing with renewing your history. So instead of every 25 days, just like with the moon and the cycle of periods and stuff, instead of doing it every 25 days, it was put on the last Sunday of the month so that you can renew your history, because Bible and Quran, that means history, literally.
That's deep right there. Yeah, we on the Lake Ave. I don't know if you've been seeing episodes, but we get into a segment of the show where we play video clips and we respond to it. Um, since you are still here, why not be part of the show? Let me recap the show. Welcome to the Lake Ave Radio Show. We got the multi-talented guy born Shabazz in the building. We got Kelly Kells in the building. Kelly Kells, what been going on with you, man? You been, MIA for a minute.
Well, I mean, you did remove me from your block list, so.
Yeah, I blocked the ball for like 2 months. You heard? She's a hard.
Hold on, before you do that, let me say, for those who do know the first degree, I wasn't trying to quote the question. I was just bringing it up because it's more to the question. Who made the Holy Quran or Bible? How long ago? When you tell us why is Islam, we do its history every 25,000 years. That's the actual question. I was just getting to the point by saying that degree deals with the Bible and the Quran. And, I know how people on social media, you God ain't quote that right. Yeah. Whatever, get your ass burnt up.
Yeah. Bomb the shit out you, man.
Exactly.
Yeah. Niggas that do that, though. That's what's funny about this shit. You can't take it.
Yeah, but I come, I come from the era where you had to do it face to face.
Right. How you feel about Trump now, Kelly? I gotta ask you that every month. Being that what's your feelings now about Trump? You still a die-hard fan?
My gas is still about $75 to $85 a day in gas.
God damn.
Jeez,
God.
And that's every single day.
You just driving motherfucker though, Kelly.
I mean, all three of my jobs I got to drive for, so.
You said all three of your jobs?
Yeah.
Yo, that's the only, that remind me of In Living Color when they did the skit with the Jamaicans. You only got 3 jobs, man. You're lazy.
You
only got 3
You're a
jobs.
bum. You only got 3 jobs, man.
3, that's it. I got 17. Yeah, that's crazy right there. Did you see did y'all see this speech that he gave about the 4th of July?
I didn't watch it. But I seen your post.
Look at this.
Be a communist or you can be a patriot. You cannot be both. As for those who peddle Marxist lies about our heritage, who tell our children that we live on stolen land or that our heroes were oppressors, they're doing something much worse than slandering our past. They are slandering and attacking our future. Not going to let that happen. They're trying to tear down the great American character, to destroy the people who declared independence, who crossed the Delaware, who settled the West, and who conquered the skies. You know who those people are. But we will never let that happen.
Conquer the skies is crazy. He said they conquered the skies, God.
Yeah.
Yo, this thing crazy, man. He don't want history. You know what I mean? He don't want. It's a guilt thing, man. You know what I mean? That they trying to erase, man.
The only thing that I will say about that is I don't think anybody should be pushing any history unless it's 100% truth, and that's the problem that we all fall into because everyone thinks that their version is the truth. But in all reality, we only know what we're told and we only know what we're taught. And it's, people that have platforms are able to say whatever they want to say. But at the end of the day...
Let me ask you this. Let me cut you off. Do you believe
No, because you're going to ask me some dumb...
You're going to ask me some dumb shit. Slavery exists, Kelly?
I believe that we're still all enslaved. So, next question.
Do you believe... I'm talking about the black people's story of slavery, how it went, the cutting of pregnant women's stomachs, open, stomping the baby so everybody can see the plant fear.
Do I
And
think that
it was
happened? Yes. I mean,
okay,
fucked up
all
shit
right.
like that happens now.
So you don't think
However,
that
I
that
don't
story need
know.
to be told
I
to
think all
every
stories need
human
to be
family
told.
amongst the planet Earth so they
I
can
think
know what happened and not repeat it?
I think
Or
all
should we
stories
just
should be
erase
told.
it? Okay.
I think everything should be told. Everything should be out in the open, and everyone can deal with everything at that point. You know, we all know what our school system has done. That's why I pulled my kids years ago. Um, they're not for any of us. They're to keep us all enslaved. So until we can get past that and actually get facts, I don't believe anything that anyone says
I think
that
that the
has a
thought of
platform though.
slavery is totally different though, um, from what actually happened. So when you say we all enslaved, like a
We
black
are all
person that
enslaved to the
really a
system.
black person like me would really look at that like you don't know what slavery is. You know what I mean?
I know
Like
I'm out busting my ass,
let me
so
own you, Kelly, for about 15 years where you gotta go to
He's
work for
telling me on
me.
you for like 15 years.
If you don't go to work, I'm gonna whip your ass. I'm gonna rip you real bad. I'm gonna use a hot hanger on you, Kelly. You got to go to
okay,
work.
so
You got to shut up.
you're saying okay,
Do
but
like
you're
I
saying that
say.
about
Don't give me
me.
no lip.
I hear this shit all fucking day, every day. So what you mean?
No, I'm talking about you. I don't listen. If you
Okay,
could
but
have been a
you're
slave
saying
back then, I
you're
don't think you would have survived
nah.
today, Kelly.
I would have never survived in the field. I'm
Right?
in
So
this
you
hot ass
can't just say
fucking.
that we
I'm in this
slaves.
hot ass metal warehouse, and I say it every fucking day. I would have never
Well,
made it
you
in.
know that's a form of industrial slavery. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's the same as the
So let me
physical.
ask you something, G. So
Go
what
ahead, go
was
ahead.
it? You played a video and then your guests are supposed to comment on it. I haven't
Yeah,
said
yeah, yeah,
anything because
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't. I
yeah,
don't.
yeah. You can
So it's like,
interrupt in this show. You can interrupt anytime you want. You're upset,
yeah.
especially if something gets you like mentally frustrated. You would gotta
So
address something bad. Yeah,
were you looking for me to comment on
yeah,
the
yeah,
video of
yeah,
Donald Trump?
yeah. Basically, yeah. That's what this
Okay,
is
well,
about. I play
my
videos.
position is the truth don't need to be defended. You know, the truth
Wow,
speaks for itself. You know what I'm
wow.
saying? Like the father said, if the truth don't stop you, ain't nothing gonna stop you. If you got to go out there and you trying to force things to not take place because you're afraid of the results, you know, listen, the truth don't
Okay,
Can't
need to be
sorry.
hide.
defended.
Yeah, you can't hide that anyway.
The truth don't need to be defended, you know. So whatever the truth is, it's gonna come out. The same way people get on social media and they front and post pictures and post history like people forgot who they are. You understand what I'm saying? Like it's somebody somewhere that know who you are. The
Right,
truth
right,
don't
right.
need to be defended. So if you getting up and you trying to defend a particular position, you feel some type of way. If you feel some type of way, there's a reason.
I'm
The
here
truth don't
tonight.
need to be defended because a lot of history that we get, it's not coming out of books. A lot of history that we get about what happened is coming from family members
Right, right,
who got it from family members who was there.
right, right.
You
Because
understand what I'm saying?
it
So,
really wasn't that long ago, and that's what people fail
at
to
all.
realize, that
Right,
word of
right.
mouth, those stories through the generations have to be told. I mean,
Right. And the truth don't need to be defended. So if a person is getting up and defending a truth that or defending a piece of history or action that ain't even taking place, you sound guilty to me.
Look at
and
the look
and
what
back to
the
hold on before you try to move off of this topic because
try
of the
to
question that
move
you want
off
to
the
ask me.
topic.
Yeah,
I
because
don't
the
want to
question that
ask
you
you
wanted to ask me.
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Exactly. So you're going to let me finish, but you said that you wanted to own me
Yo,
for
hold on.
15 years.
First of all, Miss, watch your mouth when you speak to me. You heard? You
No,
gonna
Oh
watch your
do you want
if
to go
you
back
gonna
to this
watch
again?
your
You
please
really
don't
want
do
to go
that.
back to this again?
Please don't
Because you
be
told
rude,
me
please.
that you wanted
I'm
to
just letting you back
own
get
me
cool with me. Don't
for
do that.
15 years. Now,
Uh,
no one has owned you for 15 years.
I can't hear you. You fading out.
You're lying.
She's fading out, right, boy? And
Yeah,
then she get
you
low.
are fading out.
I'm
You
not.
fading out.
She said I'm lying. She said I'm lying, Lord.
Yeah, don't lie to me.
Yo,
You
Talking
were
about I'm
fading out.
fading out. I
oh
said,
man,
you
she
said you
bugging.
wanted to own me for 15 years. This is
I
why we
said,
can't be
what
on the
if?
show together.
I said, what if we
You
split?
said you
I
said that
said,
you
what
wanted
is
to own
this?
me for 15
What if
years,
the
right?
split? I said.
But my question is no one owned you for 15 years. So we can't compare those
I've
two
been locked
stories.
up for 7 years, so yeah, the state owned me. But well, go ahead. What's your point?
That was my point.
All right, so I'm not moving off the subject. I wanted to say before you rudely interrupted, by suppressing the past, things like this happen. A 9-year-old white boy went to his neighbor's house, which was a black family, with a whip, trying to whip their 9-year-old daughter. Look at this.
Little boy, you better get your ass from off my porch beating on my door like this. I'll call the police. You need to leave.
A 9-year-old white boy in Texas threatened his black neighbor with a whip on Thursday afternoon. When Karisha Nash was at home, the neighbor's boy angrily rushed to her doorstep and whipped the door.
When I look on the doorbell camera, I can see, he actually has a whip.
Kalissa opened the door and confronted the boy, saying that the boy was planning to attack her daughter because he was dissatisfied with her.
I will call the police. You need to leave. Don't you ever be on my goddamn door like that. Go.
Kalissa is not sure about the specific reason why the boy came to find her daughter, but she claimed that after the boy was scolded and left, he scratched her car with a whip.
What's a dude scratching out something that you can fill in or buff away?
After learning of the situation, the girl's father, Nash, went to confront the boy's father, Brian Thomas.
As soon as he opens his door, I see that he has a weapon behind his back and he's leaning up against the doorway.
Nash tried to explain the situation to Brian.
This is what happened.
They would be living next door. They'd be taking a dirt bath.
Yeah, this is what happened when you don't talk to your kids about, things that happened in the past, how you should treat people. This is when you suppress it and tell them the opposite. Well, where the roots stem from, they keep it on a tradition. You heard?
Right, and that's ignorance.
This is the ignorant part that's going to happen by them trying to do that. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to teach their kids how to respect people, and they're going to keep the tradition going on being racist like that. He came to my house with a whip.
I
You
wish
wouldn't have
most
made it
people
to my
would.
car. You wouldn't have made it to my. I wouldn't have been by my door talking to a 9-year-old.
And that's
Feel
the
me?
fucking stand your ground state. Come on now.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah, so I guess I'm supposed to comment on that video. Little boy wouldn't have made it home. That's my comment.
Yo.
Right.
And you scratched my car too?
Yeah.
Come on, bro. You know Brother John, right?
That's my cousin.
You see Brother John going viral? Yo, I gotta keep it real.
When he was dancing with the sister. Yeah. Or if that was a sister, yeah. I see it.
Yeah, he I think that was his sister.
Did they
Yeah,
pass
but-
the vibe test?
Where all my scamming ass niggas at?
Spend that money fast. 50s, 100s, cash.
You cut it off before he could
Did they
get.
pass the vibe test?
Where all my scamming ass niggas at?
Spend that money fast. 50s, 100s, cash. Let go, y'all bag. Stuffing that shit in y'all bag. Shit still flipping. On that go, y'all bag.
Look, she got him out of character. Yo.
Yeah. Don't forget John from the streets before he was John Muhammad. That's my cousin too.
That's what everybody's saying. Like, come on, bro, you can't have a personality. Like, what do you?
Yeah,
think
John.
about?
John. John gets down and dirty. He be in the streets. You know what I mean? You got the person got to be raised from amongst the people. So you got to be amongst the people to some degree in order to teach them.
If you see the comments, though, guys, they going crazy. Like, he not supposed. Like, he just danced. Like, what the fuck? He not a he ain't got the personality where he all stiff right there. That, know what I'm saying? He ain't that type of person.
Yeah, John.
That's because people are fucking uptight and they ain't living the way that they supposed to live.
Right, exactly. Come on, bro.
He came down here before. John and his wife, they both came down here, and they came up to a club called the Idiot Box that I was working at, and I was doing a show up there at that time. Yeah, John Muhammad, you crazy.
That's my man right there. 50 Cent is sharing the stage with Ja Rule at an upcoming Trump event, they say. Well, how you feel about artists? Well, how you feel about Trump? Is you a Trumper? Because we didn't ask you that. We asked everybody that on the show.
I'm
Am I,
surprised you ain't asking.
am I a Trumper? Am I a Trump supporter? No, I'm not a Trumper.
Okay.
I am not a Trumper. Because I remember Donald Trump before he got into politics. You know, I can't take him serious. It's not like Ronald Reagan when he was an actor and he got into politics. He actually took it serious. You know what I'm saying? Like, Donald Trump is a businessman, so you're going to get businessman. I'm not surprised at anything. I'm not upset. I'm not surprised. Donald Trump has always been transparent with who he is. You know, it's just that people act like they just now seeing or just now running across this dude. No, go back. There's some people old enough to remember them Oprah interviews, them Eyewitness News interviews and all that. You know, Donald Trump been Donald Trump. He ain't just become that.
Yeah, was it at one point? Because people always say, "Oh, he got a lot of pictures with black people." Was he associated with a lot of black people at one point?
He was. Rappers used to name his name and everything. Raekwon said it. You rolling like Trump, you get your meat lumped. You know, I'm the black Trump. You know, like his name was used. Donald Trump has always been an entertainer. Like he was. Right. He was in the WW. I think they were WWE at that time. You know what I'm saying? He's an entertainer.
People get that mixed up with trying to connect personal with him and thinking that he's not gonna be cutthroat.
That's what a businessman is. A businessman is, a businessman is cutthroat. He acts like a businessman who just happens to be a president. You understand what I'm saying? He's not a politician. He's a businessman who happens to be a president.
Yeah, so I think once he do cutthroat shit, people that's so-called patriotic and they get upset. You know what I'm saying?
But this is not like some individuals try to talk to me about the president and the issues. Like my brother Ahmed and them, and I tell them, if you want to have a conversation about the president, you already lost. I don't care who the president is. You understand? Because the president, that's the executive branch. Their job description is to enforce the laws, not to make up the laws. This is why they have executive orders, because their job is not to make up the laws. Their job is to enforce the laws. The laws that Congress makes up. Now, when you're dealing with Congress, you're dealing with your representatives. You're dealing with the people that from state to state that you send there to DC to make laws. So before you even get to the president, you need to know who your congressman is that represents your city. And before that, you need to know who represents your district in the city that you're in. You understand what I'm saying? You got to deal with local politics, because when you deal with local politics is what puts people in the House and the Senate. And the House and the Senate are the ones that make up these rules or these laws. And the president is there just to enforce it. So a lot of people are focused on the presidency, not even Donald Trump. They focused on the presidency. They jump in past 5 or 6 different hurdles that you're supposed to go through before you even get to the president. So you want to talk to me about, not you, but individuals want to talk about Donald Trump or Obama or Biden, whoever. Who's the representative from your state that your state sent there? Who's the head of the Board of Education in the city that you live in? You understand what I'm saying? I'm not wasting time, because you're wasting your time.
A lot of people are not involved in their own communities. And when you're not involved in your own community, why even give a fuck about what's going on about people that you don't even know or see?
Do you believe both sides is the same side? Republicans and Democrats? Is whoever in presidency, they got to go by whatever's written down. Do you believe that? That's what you're saying?
I think both sides have both sides have their personal interests. And I think both sides move for that personal interest. That's why it's more important that you know who your representative from your state is and know what their politics are more than whoever the president is. Donald Trump uses a bunch of executive orders because he cannot create laws. If he makes a law, the House and the Senate can, veto that. His job description is to enforce the laws. So what laws are they enforcing? They're enforcing the laws that the Senate and the House come up with. Well, who is in the House and the Senate? Those are the people that you send from New Jersey, that you send from North Carolina, that you send from California. The ones that the ones who on the list whose names you don't know, so you just go down and vote all Republican or all Democrat. Them people who you don't know that you're voting for. Those are the people that you need to know. You need to know who in your district was running. You know what I'm saying? You got to deal with your local politics. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to us, when I say us, I'm talking specifically about 5%ers. We teach that the family is a vital building block of the community. You understand what I'm saying? So if you don't have family, you don't have community. You want to talk about the president, but you ain't talking about any type of community financing. Community financing, and I know you know, G, community financing is when that money goes through your neighborhood 3 or 4 times before it leaves. And we seen a sad thing, and I'm still pissed off about this. King's Corner, Mincy's was there for years. 611 came in, everybody ran to 611. King's Corner, Mincy went out of business. Yeah. Now we dealing with community finance. You're supposed to be supporting your local DJ, your local producer, the local person selling fruit. You understand what I'm saying? I can fix my own car, you know what I mean, or go on YouTube and fix it. However, it's somebody in the neighborhood who fix cars. Let me go pay that man to fix my car. That's community financing, because then when he needs a shirt, he gonna go see Reefy for a shirt. You understand? That's community financing. If you're not dealing with community financing, you waste your time coming to me talking about the president.
Right. I like that right there. Yeah, Kelly, what you got to say about that?
I did.
Yeah, what you got to say about that? That's a nice breakdown. You hear me? It's deep and it's simple though, and it makes sense. You feel me? No,
hey, I was
nigga, what's the mayor? Next time a nigga talk, nigga, what's the mayor of your town, nigga? Where you from?
How many people knew Butch Sanders? You understand? How many people knew Butch Sanders was the mayor of the town? You know what I'm saying? And I ain't kicking dirt on his name because he ain't here to defend it. So how many people knew Butch Sanders was the mayor of the town and things that he did or didn't do? I'm not even in Asbury Park anymore, and I knew that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Writing up invoices for equipment that they don't have and selling it off when certain things were supposed to go to the people of the community. But you want to sit and argue about the president and whether you're a Trump or a Biden and this, that, and the third. Look, all of them dudes all of them presidents are face pieces, and they are being used for what they are for. They're there to, spark emotions. They got people going to DC with masks on, and because they want their opinion. You know what I'm saying?
You got Reefy up here fighting and arguing with everybody, causing all types of problems.
And Trump can't do anything for them, man.
But check this out, because my fight is, right, it's the black people that love Trump so much when he doing all this racist shit now. He erasing history.
Oh, people are allowed to love and like.
It's like, why is you still a supporter? Like, it's something deep going on with you.
Yeah, I can't answer that. You gotta talk to those that they gotta justify that on their own.
Each person is entitled to feel whatever they want to feel and do whatever they want to do and support whoever they want to support. At the end of the day, that's not your problem. Right? That's not shit that you got to carry.
Let me tell you something, how the media play in your face, G. Trump was out in South Dakota, out in Mount Rushmore, right? The media was promoting that it was all these racist people out there at Mount Rushmore. Do you remember that?
No.
I do. Go ahead.
You remember that? Okay. And people was making jokes that he was trying to get his face on the mountain or whatever, on Mount Rushmore.
I remember that. Yeah, I do remember.
Well, I was out there.
Yeah.
I wasn't out there for him. I was out there on a trip. I went to Crazy Horse. You understand the monument Crazy Horse that was carved out of the mountain, and we just happened to go to Mount Rushmore because it's right there.
Is it
and all of that?
Faces?
Huh?
Is it next to their faces? Because I heard that those was native motherfuckers that was here.
Yeah, Crazy Horse is it was the person who was working on Mount Rushmore. He got fired, and the Lakota, I think it's Lakota Indians. They went to him and asked them to carve a mountain for them, so that they can show the world that they have great people, because the Lakota people out there look at Mount Rushmore like a spit in the face. It's disrespectful because it was carved on their sacred ground. You understand? But the point of me telling this story is I was physically there. I can show you pictures of me there. And all of that environment that they were showing wasn't out there, literally physically out there. And it was some, not Antifa, was a group or something. It was like maybe 6 to 10 of them that was at Mount Rushmore, and they was trying to, start their little antagonistic stuff, and the security ran down on them and got them up out of there quick.
How's that make you sorry?
Huh?
Yeah, I didn't know that was an ancient Dakota Indian grounds, right?
That's not the point of the story. That's not what he's talking about.
Right. The point of the story is what.
I never know that.
And the media pushes whatever agenda they want to push to cause craziness.
I'm sitting in the hotel watching the footage and looking out the window like, wow. I don't know what year that footage came from. Now, Trump was out there, you understand, and he had a little meeting or whatever, but the crowds and all the racist stuff, me and my lady was out there. I went to the Harley Davidson spot where, they have the hog rallies and stuff. I forget what it's called, but where it was just a bunch of bikers. I went there and all of that stuff, G.
So you believe they probably made that story up about wanting his face on there?
Probably. Trump, he might have said. He might have said.
He probably did say it.
Something. I didn't see the speech.
Kelly, listen, you gonna let him speak, or you gonna cut him off?
He might have said it. I didn't hear it, and somebody, I don't know if that's an actual fact, but I did hear that as far as like people speaking about it. I didn't hear him say it.
It sounds like some shit he'd say though.
But the point is, we gotta make decisions based on intelligence and not emotion, because just like them videos that you show, them that you showed, them videos are designed to spark emotions. You understand? Where even during like slavery, they would go to the poor whites and try to make them think that they was better than the blacks. When no, they come after all of us. You understand what I'm saying? To be a devil, you gotta have power. You got to be able to affect people. You know what I'm saying? And the ones who have the power, they don't care what color you are, what you look like.
Do you believe?
So no, I'm not a Trumper. I'm not for or against the dude. He is who he is, and I remember him from the '80s, man. He always been who he is. Even when he was hanging with black people, you know what I'm saying? You'll see pictures with him with Diana Ross and Michael Jackson and rappers mentioning his name and all of that, and him being at wrestling, you know what I'm saying? But that don't mean that he didn't hold them views then. Because there's certain things growing up that just, you hear it in your family. You grow up with certain things.
It's one guy that believed that all white people was evil. And I was surprised by what ethnic group he was, what race he was too. Check this out. And tell me what y'all think about this.
My friend told me in Singapore, whites are evil. I cannot disagree. He said whites are evil, period. I'm not saying, I didn't say that. He said that. I'm not.
But you think it.
Yeah, now who's going to next? Maybe Bill Gates, Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, one by one.
Well, so you're just naming all rich white guys.
I don't know. All these guys are involved. All white guys. No Asian men involved in this one. The Philippines, all white guys going after little girls. Then Thailand said, "This is your DNA. You have DNA. That's DNA." But I can understand, yeah, because white people, they rob the whole world. They stole the world. America, Australia, New Zealand, India, they're robbers. Jamaica, or they're thieves, Now they're coming here stealing Asian girls now. Oh, shit. No respect.
So you just had a bad experience with...
Come on, I'm telling
with white people in general.
What you see around the world, you don't denying that. Demand. Jeffrey Epstein set up the sex island. Why? Many whites, they love they are the peddlers. That's why I set it up. Supply and supply, demand and supply. Here, why white people coming? Japanese girls are stupid. They're looking for white guys because they got brainwashed by the stupid Hollywood movies.
Yeah.
They weren't speaking one word of English. You going out with them. That's what's fucking going on. Not only.
The white dude took his bra, man. He keep talking about they stealing people's bras and shit, man. What you think about that though? Boy, is that still like?
Well, the video itself kept freezing up, but I think I got the gist of the video. He was pointing out how all white people are evil.
Yeah.
Is that what he was pointing out?
Yeah. Do you believe that?
Well, as being a 5%er, man, we teach that we not anti-white nor pro-black. That's starters. And number two, it looks bad for the home team because when you weigh history on a scale, you know, white people history don't add up, you know, to being anything other than that. However, you can't look at your next door neighbor that way unless they show you. You got to believe a person when they show you that. You understand what I'm saying? So to give a blanket statement, all you white people are evil. I know some white people who, you know, they were some good people, you know, and if they show me that, then that's another story. I'm not saying they don't have the capabilities. I'm saying as a whole, if you put white people history on a scale, it's not going to add up to being a good thing. And so if it's a blanket statement, it's going to come out that, you know, they're going to lose as far as the judgment when it comes to if all of them are evil, if you weigh them based on their history, because whereas every ethnic group has done things wrong, white people, you know, that when you break them all down, the Italians, all the different groups, their evil and wrongdoing just happen to affect everybody on the planet. That's when it becomes wrong, when it affects other people. You understand what I'm saying? There's no other group on the planet that fucked with everybody. So it looks bad for the home team. You understand? But we have, you know, I speak for 5%ers. We're not anti-white nor pro-black. You know what I mean? I'm gonna deal with you as a civilized person if you civilize, and I'm gonna deal with you as a savage if you act savage.
Now, Kelly, does that make you feel any better being a Caucasian woman?
I told you you're going to stop trying to put me in a fucking category
that you are,
because I am
cool.
not from the mountains of Caucasus, number one.
You cool, though.
Number
cool,
two,
Kelly. I just had
his
the
answer, I am actually pleased. No, could you ask me a question? I'm going to answer it. I'm actually pleased with his answer.
I know you
would
he's
be.
The first one.
He is the first one that has brought it the way that he brought it. You just call me porcelain swine and call it a day. So
porcelain swine, guy.
Yeah, me and you got a problem.
Yo, that's the piggy bank, cause you always support it. I ain't talking about, see, you know what I mean? You think I'm talking about you a white pig? You see what I'm saying? Like, come on now. But you heard it from the guy. Your ways and actions shows and prove whether you a savage or not. You feel me?
And that also shows and proves that he actually is a 5%er. Instead of just portraying that they are.
Are you a 5%er, Lord?
Say that again?
Are you a 5%er?
Yeah, I'm a 5%er. Nation of God's nurse too. That's another retarded argument about it being a difference between the God's and earth and 5%ers. You know, because 5%er is a description that describes a couple groups of people. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, 5%er describe a couple groups of people, but within that group of people, you got to identify who you are. If we not the gods and earth, then who is? We call ourselves gods and earth. And let me get into a little bit of history with that, because you know, some brothers will be like, well, nobody was saying it there, and the father didn't say this. Man, shut your bitch ass up. Look, you know, back home, the 5%ers wasn't even called 5%ers. The city would call them the brothers. So people would speak of the 5%ers as the brothers, but that was never an official name. The Nation of Gods and Earths, you know, aside from whoever got whatever history, that's something we called ourselves. We've always been 5%ers, but the Nation of Gods and Earths is something that we called ourselves. You understand what I'm saying? So arguing, saying we ain't the nation of gods and earth, or that there's a distinct difference between the nation of gods and earth and 5%ers, shut your retarded ass up. Because there's no difference. That's something we called ourselves, the nation of gods and earth. There's nobody else on the planet calling themselves the gods and earth. So that's a retarded, that's a stupid argument. You know, because like I said, back in the 80s, the gods and earth was called the brothers by the city. But we always been the 5%ers.
See that? I learned something today. Kelly, did you learn it? Is you learn it?
I am.
Hey, listen.
I'm learning it too.
Listen, a man just got locked up for assault with a water gun.
I'm saying that, yeah.
Let me show y'all the video. Hey, boy, don't mind this show. We stick to the point, but we all over the place. You know what I'm saying?
I'm on this show. I'm here for it, G.
You know what I'm saying? Kelly, did you see the video of the dude that got locked up? He's a social media producer. He make videos, funny videos. A lot of people saying that this shit is not funny though. If you was out in front of your house, Kelly, right, and somebody rolled past and shot you in the face with a high-powered water gun while going 30 miles an hour, how would you feel about that?
I'd be pissed off and be looking for that car and throw a brick through their window.
Yo. So, I don't know, man. I can see some people upset, man. Yeah.
I mean, how high powered? Like, if it hurts, then yeah, I'm gonna be pissed off. I'm gonna be looking for it.
The way they explained it, they want them to do some time because they like high power.
Oh, come on now.
It was modified.
Oh shit! Sorry to do this to your cute ass, but sorry. Hey, get the chair, hey, Sonic and Knuckles, motherfucker. Oh shit! Yo, what up, though? Bang, 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 bang. Oh, come here. So, pow. Get your ass in the house. Ink, pink, pepper, stink, booty, far out. Bang, 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 bang. Hey, yo, get up. Fly out. Hey, get Go. Shit, fly out. Hola, ¿cómo estás?
That shit ain't gonna hurt nobody. That's
You
just
sure?
funny as hell.
That's a good answer. I like that one. Water, got your ass back up. Go, got your ass. Oh shit, watch out. Go, baby, go.
He said his girl driving.
People dumb as fuck.
Yo, his girl driving is crazy, though. His girl driving for him.
That shit's hilarious.
You know what that remind me of? That remind me of that Naughty by Nature video when Eazy-E jumped out the car with the water gun and started spraying people. They was in Newark when they filmed the video and shit.
And
Tupac was in the video. Yeah, Tupac was in the video. Eazy-E was in the video. Yeah, Eazy-E was. They was in Newark.
I gotta watch.
It's not Uptown Anthem. It's a Naughty by Nature song. It's a Naughty by Nature video.
All I gotta do is I gotta just write Eazy-E in a video.
But they jumped in the video. They jumped out the car and had the water fight. You know that right there. That shit was funny.
Yeah, that's fire though. You know what I mean? But
and you say they want that dude to go to jail?
Yeah, he's locked up right now.
That's crazy. It's as hot as it is. Some of them people probably welcome that water.
Right. But you know, he probably sprayed the wrong motherfucker.
It didn't look like it. None of them looked like they was contesting or mad. They all looked like, oh, he got me.
Or somebody seen it on his social media platform and then just going crazy over that.
That's because they don't have no life, man. This social media stuff is something crazy, man.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Matter of fact, the first time I started seeing any like little bickering within the gods and earths, the 5%ers, you know what I mean, was 1999. That's when it was Black Planet at the time, and they was called the Allah Team. You know what I'm saying? And they eventually, that Wesley Muhammad motherfucker, they was called the Allah Team, and they started putting out strict rules and regulations. They were Muslim, Nation of Islam Muslims masquerading like they was the gods of Earth. You understand what I'm saying? And from there, they went from Black Planet to MySpace. They finally got on Facebook, and now they call themselves Muslim gods. And now you got all the different 5%ers arguing. You understand what I'm saying? Because you don't know this history, or because you said this or you said that. That shit never existed, man. We were taught face to face. You had to step in the cipher. You had to be outside. You had to be asked a question right there in your face. You understand what I'm saying? And if it was incorrect, you were going to be corrected with love. You know what I mean? What I mean by corrected with love, no, that's not right. And if you continue contesting, yo, shut the fuck up. That's not right. You're wrong. And somebody would correct you. They wouldn't just let you walk off being wrong. You know, but now you post something on social media, everybody immediately tries to hijack whatever your post is and filter they redundant points of views, they space cadet point of views through it. You know what I'm saying? I had one dude, he downloaded lessons offline, and he's like, I don't know the lessons, but I got them on my phone, so I know if you say it right. How? What if your battery died? You don't know.
You say it right?
Yeah, what if your battery died? You don't know if I say it right. You got it on your phone. You had to know the lessons verbatim. You had to be able to answer questions on the spot. It wasn't this social media stuff where, and here's the problem with trying to teach people on social media. The way you teach a person, you're teaching them how to teach. You understand? So this is a face-to-face thing, because you could get all the lessons and never had the teachings. You got to get it from one of us. You understand what I'm saying? You had to be around us in order to get it. Not you inbox somebody online and they'll send you a set of lessons. You understand what I'm saying? And give you their opinion, not even their understanding. And now you running around like the RZA thinking that you're a Muslim.
Even I think a couple of Wu-Tang members though is Muslim now. It's
Yeah, the ones that I met and could vouch for, I can't, and I'm not speaking ill of any of them. But I met Old Dirty. Old Dirty was sharp. He was on point. Method Man was on point. RZA was he was on some other stuff even back then, back in the 90s. You know, RZA was so sharp. It seemed like he had to reinvent the wheel. You know what I'm saying? Some people could be too smart for their own good. You understand? And but I can't vouch for the rest of them. I never seen the rest of them at the Parliament. Poor Righteous Teachers, I never seen them at the Parliament. Never seen Rakim at the Parliament. I seen Big Daddy Kane at the Parliament. I seen Common and Erykah Badu. You understand? I know Wu-Tang members, Freedom and all of them, they have been there. I've seen them at the Parliament. At least they showed up. At least they've been there. You know what I mean? I've never seen Rakim at the Parliament. All wise intelligence. Who, Rakim? Yeah, I wouldn't know.
We're gonna get out of here, man. We got 2 hours in, man. Glad you came through and stuck around.
Yeah, indeed.
That's fire right there. We gotta link. I got some ideas and shit. I got a link with each other. I got some ideas that I wanna run by you and shit.
Yeah. And like you were saying, man, tell them again, you are in the next issue. And I do have plans on bringing you back in future issues.
That's right. Y'all can get the A-Factor, like we said earlier. Support the brother. You know, he got he about to have 4 series in encyclopedia. Factor, Black comic book, you know what I'm saying? Series. Fire.
Yeah, issue number 4 is done. I just want to proofread it before I make it public for for purchase.
Y'all hit that QR code. Another great episode of the Late Gab Radio Show. Tell a friend to tell a friend that it's him again. We signing out.
Peace.